Hey, yo. Check it.
Welcome back, hero.
My word is my sword, Hokage and Batosai, pulling the blades out of the forge, yo. Prior to my knowledge of the Force, was thinking Jedi, but through obtaining holocrons from both sides, I'm under gray skies. Everything that glitter ain't kyber crystal, my mind to lift you. In this time we shine together, disarm your pistol, yo. Welcome to the SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast.
SwordCast, yes. Theme song's playing. Right.
Welcome to the SwordCast. What episode is this?
I'm
starting to get really jealous of your earpiece, man.
Wait, hold on.
Just look.
I got something to put a finishing touch on it. So I'm on the spaceship, right? I'm a starship captain. Might as well make it official. You know what I'm saying? On the bridge of the Enterprise. You know what I'm saying? God damn it.
I am the Senate.
All right, hold on. We got something for that too. We can take it to the Falcon.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So this is episode
34.
34 episode.
Wow.
Here's one episode. Corliss Williamson from the Detroit Basketball Pistons.
He was like a 6'3" post player.
Right. And he was 5'4" post player. Nasty.
Yo, when I was in college and I played at Rochester, we played Kirtland College, and they had a guy that was like 6'1", and he was just a dominant post player, and it just didn't make any sense to me because we had like a 6'7" cat, a 6'9" cat, and this little 6'1" dude is just getting all the rebounds. It didn't make any sense.
Our center at when I was at Cranbrook, a little white light. Well, it wasn't that little. In high school, if you 6'1" or 6'2", you're fucking tall.
Yeah.
But my homie Moy had he had straight up nice little up and under post game. You know what I'm saying? He would score on you every now and then with a little up fake, get you to follow him.
Right.
Who else? Episode Shaq, right? Shaq was 34.
Yeah, Shaq was 34. Episode Ray Allen, Milwaukee Bucks Ray, Jesus Shuttlesworth Ray. Whew. Ray was filthy, man.
That was Ray. That was when he would get up in action and dunk on you. He wasn't just shooting threes.
That was Ray with the between the legs, behind the back. And pull up.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Episode Earl Campbell, one of the best running backs ever. I know some of y'all are probably too young. Obviously, I was too young to see Earl Campbell play. I've just seen his highlights. You should look up Earl Campbell on YouTube. This dude was like the most ridiculous running back ever. Like power, speed. I seen this one clip where he's like getting his entire uniform ripped off, and his pads is flopping everywhere, and he's just still running. Earl Campbell was dope. And that does it for the sports section of the SwordCast.
Shout out to Rick Brown, who I'm sure is going to flood our Instagram with every single human being that's ever worn a
that's ever worn number 34. Shout out to Rick Brown. Always comes through
on it
and just embarrasses us with it. Right. With that number, with the correct jersey number.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, last week we talked about what did we talk about last week?
That's a good question.
We talked about I forgot. I mean, we did the top 5 villains. We shed some light on some some good villains, which that was a hard one because, you know, like we said before, our top fives are usually based in a universe, and that was not. I mean, for sure, man, shout out to y'all. Me and Hero, I told you guys we did the little live stream show for Michigan House for this company that, you know, they were doing a little live stream concert during the week. Me and Hero rocked on Friday. If you had the most people tuning into your live stream, you won some extra money, and me and Hero won. So that is super shout out to the fans, man. Thank you all for tuning in. But yeah, man, what are you into right now? Quarantine in the house, chilling.
All right, so I got two things that I'm into. One good and one bad. I literally just talked to you yesterday about Jedi Knight.
Yes. And then I saw your Facebook status, and it was completely different than what you were telling me.
Star Wars Jedi Outcast is fucking garbage, bro. Here's the thing, right, bro? I'll give you some context. Like when the game first came out back in like 2008 or whatever that was more like 1999 or whatever. It was a long time ago. It was amazing. It was fantastic.
It was.
No game like it. It's the best best like lightsaber combat ever.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to go back, bro. Games have changed so much since then. And I'm going back, and it's not even the graphics. I understand the graphics. That's fine. But when I go back to
it's not the graphics. It's when they put these games on the new platforms or on the new consoles, and they kind of remaster them a little bit. Just some of the game that just don't translate well, man.
Dog, not at all, bro.
Is that what
it's
this
so
is?
Man, this is a computer game first, right? So it doesn't translate to console well at all. Like they try to make it into like a proper first person shooter the same way, or like some parts of it first person shooter, and it's just like the shooting mechanics are pathetic, dog. Like you can have somebody straight up dead to rights lined up in your reticle, and you will just like shoot right past them, and it's like, bro, what? And the AI is just it's so unrealistic, bro. Like, I guess they try to make it more difficult. So like the stormtroopers will just be like darting back and forth and like fucking shooting you and darting at the same time. And it's like, dog, and then you be missing them obviously, and then they hit you fucking every single time.
Which is a complete lie, because we all know that stormtroopers never hit their desired target.
Man, it's totally impossible. Well, I'm not gonna say that. It is exceedingly difficult to hit a target when they're moving on this game.
It's also really difficult to get shot by a stormtrooper.
Right. Yeah. I mean, come on. let's stay with inside of the Star Wars universe here.
Man.
And so once you get the lightsaber, it makes it a lot better. And I've started playing Jedi Academy, and it's already way better.
It takes a minute for you to get a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours into the game, you get the lightsaber. Yeah. And it's like, man, fuck this. By the time I got to that point, I'm like, man, I'm already tired of this game. I stopped playing it. I'm not even playing that shit anymore. I started playing Jedi Academy. I want to have fun. Like, it was just straight up a chore. I'm like, bro, this is just not fun. And it's like, bro, there's no map. There's no like clues as to what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go. It's like
they left us hanging when we were kids, bro. I don't know how we survived.
Like some actually hardcore video game ass niggas probably like that kind of shit, but I'm trying to enjoy my game plan. That is not fun to me. Like, I don't want to be confused to the point where it's just like, all right, bro. Like, I am a reasonably intelligent human being, and if I can't give it a good old college try and like use my brain to try to figure out what's going on,
and that's not good enough, I'm good.
And then I'm straight. And if I go look it up, and it's there's like, so just to give you an example, in Jedi, I think the second level of Jedi Knight, you have to like they don't give you any mini map, no directions. You just gotta fucking stumble around until you find out where you're supposed to go. I had to get into this base somehow, and what I had to do was, what it turns out you had to do was like look down and you're standing on like a grate, and you see this little tiny pipe that comes out, every now and then you jump down on top of the pipe, and then you like tightrope or across the side of it down to the edge of the map, and then go inside of the thing that came out.
Oh,
like there's no way I would ever have thought to do that. Never in a million years. I would just have never beat that game ever.
No map. No hints.
And it's like, bro, come on, bro. I'm good on this shit. This is not fun. I'm all set. So Jedi Academy is already way better because they just give you the lightsaber off top.
Yeah,
so I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So the good thing I'm into, and shout out to one of our right. Shout out to one of our fans, a young lady on Instagram, on Twitter.
Talking about Ozark.
The devs is what it was.
But
hold on,
okay,
real quick. She's got one of the dopest handles ever. Flower Blight Ganon. That shit's dope as fuck.
Yeah, that's
playing off of the bosses from Zelda Breath of the Wild. So anyways, shout out to Flower Blight Ganon and Devs, man. Devs is the show that's really, I can't even begin to talk about that shit, bro. Like, I'm gonna do my best to talk about it without
put me on, because I've never seen it. I've seen people talking about it, but I'm not familiar, so I wanna
it's hard to talk about without spoiling it, but I'm gonna do my best. It's super duper like cerebral and techie and like real sweaty, bro. Like
you know how me and technology is my arch nemesis. I be losing this battle to technology all the time.
This may as well be Magic then, as far as you're concerned. It's basically, I mean, the show is basically about a guy who works for this major tech company, and they have like a secret development division where they do like some really hardcore shit that nobody knows about, and he earns an opportunity to become a part of that team. And then some wild shit happens, and he ends up getting killed, or going missing. But that's a minor spoiler. But you see that he gets killed in the first episode. My bad. But it's not even a big spoiler. He gets killed in the first episode. It's obvious. Everybody knows it. Whatever. That's not the mystery. The mystery is trying to figure the woman, his girlfriend, ends up being the main character, and she has to kind of figure out like what happened to him and why he died, and what the fuck they're doing in Devs. And dog, once they drop the concept on you of what Devs actually is, like what they're doing, what they're programming in there, it's like, holy shit. What the fuck, bro? It literally fucked me up in real life, dog. In real life, it fucked me up. I was like, dog, what? Huh? How? What? To the point where like there's a part of me that's convinced that what they're doing in Devs is actually happening. Yes. I mean, there's some Matrix in there. There's some Ghost in the Shell. There's some like Westworld in there. I mean, it's really, really well done, bro. So, if y'all want to take that journey into one of the most high concept, sweaty ass TV shows you'll ever see, fuck with Devs. It's amazing.
Got it.
What about you?
So yeah, man, everybody, you guys know I was watching Handsome Siblings. I finished that. Amazing. I've been, we talked about our favorite live action shows a couple episodes ago, and I had Into the Badlands, I think at like number 3 or 4.
Wow,
I've recently gone back, and I started it from the beginning because I never finished the show. I had only seen the first 2 seasons. So I went back and started from the beginning, and I'm 1 episode away from finishing the entire show. And I have to say, this would definitely be like right behind Handsome Siblings on my top 5. But bruh, first of all, there's never in history been a show with more high quality fight scenes than Into the Badlands.
Oh.
Never.
Not even close. Not even
never
close,
has
bro.
there ever been a show with this caliber of fight scenes. Now, Handsome Siblings, the quality is there, the presentation is there, but it's more of like this beautiful, like Chinese martial arts. It's not the brutality of Into the Badlands, bro.
The opening fight scene of the first season.
It's one of the best ones in the whole show. Sonny just taking down the nomads. But yeah, man, I've been finishing that, and the show is amazing. The fights are incredible. There's such good characters, man. Shout out to Daniel Wu, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just does an amazing job playing Sonny or Sunzo. You know what I mean?
Sanzo, yeah.
Sanzo. And yeah, bro, I love it. I've been loving Into the Badlands. It's definitely a favorite show of mine. And I was reading an interview that Daniel Wu did, and he was saying how when they were casting for the show, his whole thing was finding a lead that was a Chinese guy, kind of not too old, not too young, martial arts expert, good actor, perfect English. That was a hard combination to find. And the crew was just like, it's you. You know what I mean? Yep. And he was like, I'm 40. I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm done kind of acting in martial arts films. Because, he's been in a few movies. He's actually really dope. And he was just like,
he does a lot of choreography, right?
Yeah, he does a lot of choreo too. And they were just kind of like, it's you. You're the guy. So, you know what I mean? So he ended up playing Sonny, man. And he obviously does an amazing job. So, yeah, man, I've just been really super, super into that and finishing up Into the Badlands. So that's kind of been my thing.
Yeah. So who are your top? Give me your top 3 characters from Into the Badlands.
Into the Badlands. Let's see. Number 3, I would have to say Tilda, man. I love Tilda. Tilda is the widow's daughter. I was super into when she was the Iron Rabbit, was it? When she was kind of doing the Robin Hood thing, taking the supply trucks. She's dope. She can fight really good, man. She had the edge to her. I really like Tilda. My second favorite character is how you say it, Gaius? Louis Tan's character. I really like his character, man. His character, he was the Chow family. He's the Chow Baron's brother. Yeah. He's obviously, I'm a fan of Louis Tan anyway, but he's pretty dope, man. Obviously, my favorite character is Sonny, man. He's just crazy, super, super crazy. I love Sonny. I like Widow too, though, man. Like, Widow's got kind of a good story going on. I really liked. I liked the episode where she had her mirror kind of. It's kind of like the thing that shows them their true self. You know what I mean? And she had like her mirror episode where she was getting to see that she was becoming the thing that she was like supposed to be trying to take down. I really like that episode. So I like Widow too, man. Obviously, crazy fighter too.
For me, my top 3 are Widow at number 3, Sonny at number 2, and just off the strength of, I know he's a villain, but just off the strength of the combination of actor and just like I'm a fan of like presence on screen.
Yeah,
I fuck with Pilgrim, dog.
Yeah, he's so evil, dog.
He is, but like when he's on screen,
that guy's a phenomenal actor.
He's so good, bro. I need more of him. He's just like this sort of like unassuming sort of. He doesn't look like a great fighter. Doesn't look like he's in great shape, but like
he put that blindfold on, and he was just.
That nigga was punching people's souls out of them, dog. I fuck with Pilgrim heavy.
Pilgrim he's a good character, man. It's an amazing show, man. Oh, but MK, I can't stand MK.
Yeah, MK's a shitty. He's a dirtbag.
He's like perpetual crappy Sasuke, like when Sasuke was being a jerk.
Yeah, he's young. He's like for a first couple of episodes of Naruto's version of Sasuke, or like early Bakugo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, he's just can't stand MK, but I mean, It's an amazing show, guys. If you've never watched Into the Badlands, man, y'all got to check it out. One day we'll regroup and we will do our top 5 fights from that show, because that definitely is something that
there's so many.
Because there are so, like, some of the fights that aren't the main fights, you know what I mean? They're so good. Like, one fight that I love that is just still in my mind is from the first season. It was like a couple episodes in, and it was when Sonny kind of he gets attacked by the Widow's clippers. Remember, in the rain, fight in the rain, and she was sitting in the cab. Was I don't remember if that was Widow or.
Wait, are you talking about when he gets jumped by the folks from like the temple?
What they came, was that no? Because that was when that was because Sonny wins this fight. That was
he gets his ass whooped in that fight.
That was when they came to take MK. Yeah. Not that one. There was the one.
I fuck with that fight though. That was a good
fight. That fight was really good. They did this thing where they stacked on top of each other. Yeah. They made like the human Voltron. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, those fights in that show, amazing. But Sonny, man, Sonny's my dude. And shout out to Nathaniel Moon too. With the sword with the rings on it.
With the rings.
I like that episode too where they meet him. That was really dope. But yeah, man, Into the Badlands, amazing show. If you guys never watched it, you got to check it out, man. It's a post-apocalyptic future world. There's no guns. You know what I mean? It's all
you got is your hands.
All you got is fighting and swords and you know, melee weapons. And basically the world is run by these people. They're called barons. And then the barons are the territorial leaders, and they have their what's their right hand person called? I forgot. Their regent
or something like that.
Regent, yeah. And the barons have their regent, and the regent is kind of their right hand, top absolute best fighter that they have. And then they have what's called armies of clippers, and clippers are, you know, the killers and their soldiers and stuff. So it's a really amazing show, man. Y'all got to check it out. Obviously there's good characters, but there are some really powerful female characters, and that's something that we talk about all the time is having like the dope female characters that don't have to be, you know, overly fan service. And this show definitely has that. Like, Widow is the most, you know, she's the most like feared character in the show, man. So,
yeah, she's a beast, and she don't even have.
She's amazing.
Well, we'll just there's a lot to the Widow story, so we'll go with that.
And there's a lot to the Widow story for sure. We were talking earlier, like, if you got the Widow from Into the Badlands, you got Black Widow from Marvel MCU. I think Widow from Into the Badlands is
no question.
Wash.
Yeah, Black it's not Widow. Even close. I mean, she's got these characters have like superhuman levels of martial arts skills.
Absolutely.
Like, they're all on the level of at least. I mean, they don't have the Iron Fist exploding hand, but
no, but you could even say, like, with the gift activated, right? If you have it,
for sure. Then you're on Iron Fist level. I would say
I think you're more than Iron Fist level.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
you're talking about, bro. I've seen them do some crazy things. You know what I mean? You know, stopping things in midair. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like using the Force. But go watch Into the Badlands, man. Go watch it. If you never watched it, it's on Netflix. I know you guys are sitting at home. You don't got a lot to do. You got to watch Into the Badlands. It's super worth it, man. Super worth it. Go check it out.
Boom.
So, but yeah, man, I got something real quick before we move on that'll make you feel old. 26 year anniversary of Mobile Fighter G Gundam was like a couple of days ago.
Fuck, dog.
Hey, man, That's actually my favorite Gundam show. I had
That's a
a
good one.
I had a fan. I did the questionnaires on Instagram. I cannot remember my dude's name. I wish I could. If you're listening, bro, write me a message on Instagram, and I'll definitely shout you out next episode, because I'm drawing a blank on your name right now. But he asked me, why we don't talk about Gundam a lot on here. We did before briefly because it was a Gundam film that was being shown in movies, but I love Gundam. There's so many series though that it's not. Mech-Anime is it's kind of like a love or hate thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it. Just certain ones like Mobile Fighter G Gundam, my favorite Gundam show. Absolutely. Don't mind Cashews, my favorite Gundam pilot. Love that one. But then you have like shows that kind of like launched the Gundam genre into, like, you know what I mean, like your Gurren Lagann and your Neon Genesis Evangelion, which that show is like super cerebral as fuck. You know what I mean?
So the thing about Mech-Anime, it's not really shonen necessarily. The only two, I mean, I'm sure there's probably more than two, but the two that I can think of that follow the shonen arcs and the shonen like sort of the archetype was Gundam Wing and G Mobile Gundam. And outside of that, they are very much like political thrillers. Yeah, they which can be a little boring sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Mobile Fighter G Gundam, it's got a lot of action in it, but it's very political. Most Mech-Anime are, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's about governments and like military movement and shit like that.
Yeah. And Iron Blooded Orphans is another one I like. That's another good Gundam show.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I hear that one's good.
You should check it out. It's got like a sneaky good soundtrack too.
Okay.
So yeah, you should check that out. But I mean, yeah, man, I do enjoy some Mech-Anime. Not my, it's not my like super go-to, but like if I were to list my top 25 or 50 favorite anime, there would be some Gundam ones in there,
What I will say though, now that I'm kind of thinking back, oh my God, I just got a dopamine hit of nostalgia just now. If you want to really get hit with some like 90s nostalgia and 90s anime nostalgia, there are some really dope mech animes that'll do it for you. Like Pat Labor is one that I used to see all the time. I'll rented it a few times. I mean, there's a whole bunch of Pat Labor movies and series that I would get at Blockbuster. Appleseed, you remember Appleseed?
Appleseed, yes, I do actually remember Appleseed. That's now that is. Where did I see that at for the first time?
I remember exactly what shelf I saw it on at Blockbuster.
Appleseed, Robotech, man.
Robotech
is another throwback.
Yeah. And also, bro, the names for tech animes, Mech animes are fire, dog.
They're always dope.
Robotech, dog. Gurren Lagann.
Like they're always good. Y'all got to check out Gurren Lagann, man. If you've never seen that, I dub Gurren Lagann as the most anime ever. It definitely is.
So yeah, I mean, you kind of just, if you go back and like look at the way that those shows were animated back then, the thing that kind of stands out is like the gunfire. It's always like a strobe light effect. That shit be looking sweet as hell, and it kind of they don't really make them like that no more. You know what I'm saying?
Man, they don't. That Akira style. You know what I mean? It's old, but it just looks. That shit so be
looking clean. Like, I'm about to flat out like. I think that I may have been inspired to explore some mech animes now. I think I'm about to go back and watch Appleseed and just because I kind of. Yeah, bro, that shit. I remember like the cover art, everything looks sweet.
It always looks so dope. It always looks so dope, man. See, man. I mean, hey, we got time. We got time to go on a new journey. So,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Bro, this shit looks sweet as fuck, dog. I'm just looking at the.
Was you looking at Appleseed?
Bro, look at the. Hold on. Look at the tag. Look at the. Hold on. Can you see it?
Yeah, a little tiny bit. It's like a big bright.
Fuck.
Nope.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
That shit looks sweet as hell, don't it?
That looks amazing. Yeah, that looks amazing.
That art style is just super cold to me.
It's so like sharp and vibrant, man. Like I love it. 90s anime. There's nothing better, bro. Nothing better. I love it. Like even like I used to be obsessed with the Guyver. You know what I mean?
Guyver.
And like the show, and that's a show that I kind of wish they would remake because it doesn't. I watched it like last year to rewatched it, and it just doesn't hold up that well. But the Guyver armor is amazing.
It looks sweet as hell. Yep. All right, what else we got? Damn, that shit looks sweet as fuck. I can't stop looking at this shit. Yeah, I love the color. I love the everything about that shit looks sweet as hell.
Right. So we did. So last time, you know what I mean. I did the film questions for you. So now I know you got the film questions for me this time around. I'm gonna try to answer them right off the top. Not thinking too much about it, which is always the worst part about doing these things, because then you go back and you're like, oh man, I should have saved this, but whatever. Let's do it.
Boom. All right, here we go. So starting from the top, man, flaming hot takes. Get your flamethrower ready. Right away. What is a film that you hate?
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Worst movie ever. I would tell you this right now. In my entire life, and I'm an old man. There's one movie that I went to see in theaters and actually left before it was finished, and it was Avatar: The Last Airbender. The reason is because you already know how I feel about the show, and the movie was just a big.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right, movie that you think, a film that you think is overrated.
Oh, I'm gonna make some enemies right here.
No.
The first Iron Man movie.
Dog, you wild, and that's in my top 5, bro. That shit's sweet as fuck.
Hey, it's good. I think it's good, but I watched it like recently, and it was just kind of like, it was good. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was. That's the first Marvel movie, man. It's the first MCU movie. Paved the way. Hey, I mean, it's not the first Marvel movie though. We gotta give some respect to Blade. You're right. First MCU. Yeah. Okay. What about a film that you think is underrated? Oh, a film that I think is underrated. Iron Monkey. That's a good movie. Iron Monkey is one of the best martial arts movies ever, and I just don't ever see people talk about it. It is very good. Here's another one that's underrated in that similar vein. You remember Bulletproof Monk? You remember that shit? Bulletproof Monk, yeah. that shit was fire. Good movie. Okay. Is that Chow Yun-Fat? Chow Yun-Fat, yep. Yeah. Okay, then the next one we got here, and I already know your answer before you say it. Film that you love. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Favorite movie ever. Film that you can watch over and over. Ip Man. Good, great answer. Which Ip Man? The first one. I actually like all of them, but the first one is my favorite. Me too. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than the 10 black belt fight. Like that's literally one of the great fights of all time, bro. It's so brutal. I mean, what the fuck? This nigga was. Listen, bro. A lot of people talk a lot of shit about the movies where you got 3 or 4 people standing around and waiting to hit the main fighter. He was taking these cats on at the same time. He was blocking 4 or 5 people at the same time and breaking all of their legs, dog. He broke my man's leg and then rolls through
Bruh,
fight
he
the other guy. Crazy.
broke this nigga's like.
But there's that one dude he swings and just steps on his face and breaks his neck.
And then he punches my one dude in face into the ground.
Into the dirt.
Bro, he punched that nigga into the pavement, dog. Right. What a fucking great scene.
It's amazing. And then I love at the end, it's the most lopsided one-on-one boss fight ever.
Right.
Like he's just like, hey, if you win, we'll kill you. He's like, I don't care. I'm about to. You know
right, fuck out of here.
Whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, real quick, I know I'm supposed to be asking you the questions. Another lopsided ass boss fight was Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee versus Han. When Han got them couple of scratches in with his claw. But
don't get it confused because that
nigga Bruce Lee was literally ragdoll. This nigga was literally ragdoll kicking this nigga across the entire complex, bro. There was one particular, like I used to rewind this shit over and over again, where Bruce Lee, you could tell that they put an actual dummy in there.
Yeah, bro.
And then they told Bruce, like, yo, Bruce, just kick this dummy as hard as you fucking possibly can. And he literally kicked that shit like across the fucking room. That shit used to have me dying. All right.
Hilarious.
Next one.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to change one of my answers. I'm sorry. I'm going back. My overrated film is actually going to be Endgame, not the first Iron Man, Endgame. And I'm changing it to Endgame. So everybody that was mad at me for saying Iron Man, I take it back. I had some thoughts to myself just now. The first Iron Man movie is a classic. I'm gonna chill on that. But my overrated film is gonna be Endgame. I'm just not a fan of time travel, man, in movies. And Endgame's just like one of those movies that was good, but like it's like it doesn't have replay value. You know what I mean? And it's because of the time traveling thing.
Yeah, and I mean, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner. Like they
definitely did.
There was too many things in order to do it the way that they did it in the comic. There were too many pieces missing. Like Adam Warlock was crucial. Silver Surfer crucial.
Some huge characters from that story.
Concepts that weren't there.
Some characters, some concepts. Even the stones, right? Like the Soul Stone could have been done the way it was in the comic book. It would have been a lot different too. So
I think there's still room for the Soul Stone stuff to happen, where like Gamora and Black Widow and them are still alive inside of the Soul Stone. I saw a lot of people think that that's what's happening. I mean, but whatever. Like, I agree. I thought Infinity War was phenomenal.
Infinity War was amazing, but Endgame, I think it's a little overrated.
That doesn't mean it's trash, though. That
doesn't mean it's trash. It doesn't mean it's trash. Doesn't mean it's got arguably one of the best moments ever. The most feel good moment in MCU when Cap is like at the end of his, what he has left, and then all you hear is Falcon come in on the radio and say, "On your left," all the rings started showing up. That was amazing, but that doesn't mean the movie's trash. I just think it's overrated. All right,
next one. Film that made you fall in love with cinematography.
Oh, that's House of Flying Daggers.
Dog, I was just about to say, bro, if you're having trouble resisting the urge of saying Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon again, might I suggest House of Flying Daggers? This might be a flaming hot take, right? Fist bump, boom. I for my personal taste, I might slightly prefer House of Flying Daggers over Crouching Tiger. Slightly.
You crazy. Well, Crouching Tiger is my favorite movie ever, but just House of Flying Daggers is a great movie. And we're talking about cinematography, man. The bamboo scene, the green, man. And just the way they do the colors is so vibrant, so well done.
The music in there was so fucking good, and the scene where she's like playing the drums with the seeds, or whatever the fuck that was really, really dope.
Amazing.
Okay, so the next one that we've got here is So I'm going to need you to try your best not to answer everything with Crouching Tiger. So
My favorite movie ever.
Film that changed your life.
Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace.
That's a good one.
The reason is because when I got taken to the movies to see that when I was a kid, that's what made me love Star Wars and want to watch all the original Star Wars and get into the story. So Star Wars Episode 1.
Boom. All right. Guilty pleasure.
Oh, jeez. Guyver. The Guyver movie.
Good one.
The movies are terrible. I love both of them.
All right. Film you should have seen by now.
There's a lot. I'll say The Joker. I didn't see that new Joker movie.
It was good.
Seen it.
It was good. But, I don't think, from what I know about your taste, I don't know if you would have loved it necessarily.
Yeah.
But it was good.
It's hard to get me to watch movies without fighting them. I'm like Ash from Pokemon. I'm a battle.
Y'all get any more of that action? Got any more of fights? Okay, so yeah, there's like zero fighting in that movie. So it might not be a good one. Right. Okay, so a great film to see.
That's another good one. A great film to see. I say District 9.
That's a
really good movie.
I fucking love that movie.
District 9 is a good movie.
All right, so film that you wish you never watched.
Oh, jeez. A film that I wish I'd never watched. Goodness. Probably, I already said Avatar, The Last Airbender, so... Oh, Mortal Kombat 2 Annihilation. That movie was terrible, and it was such a letdown because that first '90s Mortal Kombat movie is dope.
Really
good.
It
was really good, and then they did that second one when it was just that movie was bad.
It was indeed.
It's got some of the worst acting ever in it.
You're right. Fuck, man. Then they changed all the actors inexplicably. All right, so film you wish had a sequel.
Oh, that's another hard one. Film you know what? I'm gonna say, dang, that movie did have that's a hard one, bro. A film I wish had a sequel. Let's go with that's such a hard one, bro. Let's say that's a hard question, bro, because so many more like Crouching Tiger got a sequel way down the line. You know what I mean? It's on Netflix. It's actually not bad, but okay, a film I wish had a sequel. I would say, jeez, man. I guess I don't know, bro. That's a hard question. That's a really hard question. A film that I wish had.
Think back to. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know, bro. That's a hard one.
Think back to some '90s joints.
To some old '90s. Think back to some old '90s movies. How about?
Because the one that I thought of. Shout out to you for reintroducing me to this shit. How about Surf Ninjas?
Hey, hey, man! I'll take a sequel where they're actually royalty in the what was it called? Patusani or something like that. Patusani. Kwansu. What was it? Moto surf, dog.
Moto surf.
Moto surf. There's a surfing in the cars. Man, Surfing Ninja.
What a fucking great movie.
I'll take it, Surfing Ninja sequel. Man, that's such a great movie.
It is a great movie. And that's it, man. That's all we got.
All right, man. It's time, man. It's time for the big topic for today, man. You already know what it is. Clone Wars, man. Do you watch it? Have you been watching it? I hope you've been watching it. You should be watching it, guys. If you're not watching the final season of Clone Wars on Disney Plus,
it's great.
Everything that we have endured, all those boring episodes, there was a couple of them, have led us to the promised land. How did you feel about this episode? Part 2 of, what's the name of these episodes?
I don't.
Apprentice.
Oh, Phantom Apprentice.
Phantom Apprentice. That's the name of these episodes.
Yeah, what a little bit of a head fake too with that title. A little bit of a fake out.
The Phantom Apprentice. How did you feel about this episode?
It was fantastic. I mean, it was clearly the highest quality. I mean, I was never a huge Ahsoka fan before, but I'm really starting to like her now. I like the fact that she's a little bit more gray, a little bit more, kind of fuck this shit a little bit. Like I, you know me, bro. I don't like one-dimensional characters. I don't like goody two-shoes, and at the same time, I don't like just straight up evil people either. Like I need you to be somewhere in the middle, which is why I'm always gravitating towards the anti-heroes. And she's still a hero. I mean, her moral compass is still just straight, but she is very critical of the Jedi. And I loved that conversation that her and Maul had. Well, before we get into that piece, just like the overall production value was just 1,000 times higher, even in this series for this one episode, bro. Like you could very clearly tell. I think Edmund, and I was talking to him about this earlier. I didn't know this, but I think he implied that Ray Park did the mocap for it, and while I see it. Right. While I didn't know it for sure, as soon as I saw the fight scene, I was like, "Bro, it looks like they got Ray Park back for this because his style with Darth Maul is pretty unique and it's different. It stands out from the Darth Maul that we've seen in Clone Wars up until that point. It looks like the Darth Maul from Episode 1, which is a much doper fighting style.
That's what we need, man. That's what we want. You know what I mean?
It's more athletic. It's more bouncy. It's more.
It's more skilled fighter. It's not. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, this episode was amazing. You talked about the animation quality, bro. The scene where the window breaks and all the debris from outside comes in, and they do the little spinning camera. It just looks so good. And I mean, obviously the fight, man, the showdown between Maul and Ahsoka, and just how about just the way that these events are lining up is so amazing. If you are a fan of the films, right? So we get Obi-Wan coming and talking to Bo-Katan and Ahsoka with his hood on right before he's going to strike down Grievous, right? You know what I mean? So you know how close we're getting to Order 66, you know what I mean? Because these things are lining up, right? And then you have that. And how about my guy, my favorite character ever, Darth Maul? He was there, bro. He knew what was up. He had figured out the plan, and Ahsoka didn't listen to him, and that drove me nuts, bro.
Yeah.
He knew everything, dog. He knew everything.
Maul was like, yo, we're all going to die. What the fuck y'all doing, dog?
What are y'all doing? Bro, he straight up told her, like, yo, Anakin is, you know what I mean? And then, like I said before, these things are lining up. And I don't know if I'm tripping. Tell me if I'm tripping. I want everybody to go back and watch this. Bro, there's a moment where Maul ignites his lightsaber and they're about to, once they start fighting, bro, if you listen, you can hear that weird scream that Palpatine lets out.
I heard it.
You heard it? Okay, word, right?
Yeah.
So that's amazing work, because now you're like, yo, this is happening while Sidious is fighting Mace Windu. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So these two events are happening at the same time, which is amazing, bro.
Yeah, bro. Order 66 is gonna happen like in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that shit is imminent. That shit is going down. You know what I'm saying?
66 is right around the corner. I am the Senate.
Right. Yo, so here all right, man. I know how you feel about Maul, and I'm a Maul fan too. So I got some hard questions for you, bro.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
How are you feeling about how Maul is being portrayed? Because I like it. I like it. But they are breaking him down a little bit, right? Like you could tell that he's broken. He's been broken by like what has happened to him to some extent. You know what I'm saying?
And they established that back, seasons ago when he first came back and his brother found him in that hole and he had like the spider legs and he's mentally been, I'm not a fan of him. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. I'm not a fan of him losing, because if we watch the films, Maul has, how many Jedi or how many Sith have we seen actually kill a Jedi Master on screen? Not a lot, maybe nobody, right? I mean, Darth Vader beat Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan let him win, right? Then we have Darth Maul killing Qui-Gon, right? And then we have we've seen Jedi get killed in multi battles, right? With like role with the droids and all types of other people involved, but in a one-on-one situation with a Sith fighting a Jedi, we just have not seen many Sith kill a Jedi Master, and Darth Maul has done it. He killed Qui-Gon. If you read the comic books, he's killed other Jedi in the comic books. Like, this is a guy who has had experience and has actually beat Jedi Master one-on-one. And then when you watch Clone Wars, it's like he's losing these fights that he should not be losing, and it bothers me so much.
So that's what I was gonna say. Like, as being such a massive Maul fan, how are you feeling about that? And here's another thing. And this is why I say these are hard questions. It's got to be difficult, because I have this happen with a lot of the people that I'm fans of that for the purposes of the story are written down some. Yeah. Like I heard there was a famous rant that Freddie Prinze Jr. did, the voice of Kanan Jarrus on Rebels. He does a lot of other Star Wars stuff too. But I actually agree with a lot of what he was saying. But there was one thing that stood out. He was basically, raging against the fans for being, ungrateful and just sort of being toxic as fuck, like they are. I mean, like we are. Really.
That's
but one of the things that he said though was that he didn't understand why the fans didn't understand what Maul was. Like, he used the metaphor of Atlas, right? The warrior, the Greek Titan, or the god who's they're constantly not underachieving, but they're constantly like falling short. Like, they roll the earth, the boulder up one side and it comes back down on the other, right?
Yeah.
And so his point was that the way Maul has been written from his defeat until now is to be like an Atlas type character that is a fan favorite and everybody loves him, but he can't get over. He can't get to his to the goal. You know what I'm saying?
And this is my thing, right? I understand that, but it's not consistent in all forms of Star Wars media. You know what I mean? Like it's that in Clone Wars, right? But it's in the comic books. It's a guy who is constantly winning and besting his opponents and achieving his goals at that time. You know what I mean? Now, also, I think that what plays a big part in it is a lot of his comic book material is pre Phantom Menace, right? You know what I mean? Right. So he was just a stronger, more, he was more mentally there. The whole Obi-Wan thing is what broke him down, right? And now everything that we've seen of him in Clone Wars is him just trying to latch on to any power that he can, you know what I mean? And then when he finally gets back to a place of who he was before, then Sidious comes and breaks him down again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's like rebuilded himself, and then he got broke down again. And now he rebuilt himself with this Crimson Dawn, which is like the little crime syndicate he had going with the Pikes and Black Sun and everything, and the Mandalorian and the Mandalorian people, and now he's losing that. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what's going to happen because he got captured, right? So now that they have him and he knows everything, but I'm guessing that Order 66 is going to happen right before he can actually tell. Yeah.
I mean, I was just curious to get your thoughts on that because we all love our favorites and clearly Maul is one of your favorites, but it's a thing that's frustrating as fuck, man. Like,
it's super frustrating. I can't stand seeing him losing, and it's even worse because his losses they're so like this was kind of a cheap ill, right? Like he kind of had her, and then he went to get on the plane, and then she, you know what I mean, and then she attacks him when he's trying to get on the plane, and then she knocks him off the thing. So it's like it's frustrating, but I mean I get it for the story purposes.
Right. I mean, that's the thing that's frustrating is that we took this great character and you are like creating him, you're making him a plot point. Almost the same way. I have similar frustrations with Vegeta, where Vegeta like is designed to be the guy who always falls short of Goku.
But puts in the same amount of work.
More work, you know what I mean? A lot of the times. And it's like, man, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
that's frustrating as hell.
About Maul, like, and he's such a better character, man. Like, he's such a better character than some of the other, villains that they have.
So here's a question. Here's a question. Here's how to tie it all together. So keeping in mind that Maul is a villain, right? That I'm not even gonna say he's a villain. He is a dark side user, and generally speaking, he is aligned towards the dark side. Generally speaking. Yeah. What do you think would be the perfect send off for him? In your world, as the biggest Maul fan there is, what would be the perfect ending to his story?
Okay, so when you say his story, do you mean this?
No, I'm talking about him. Forget Clone Wars, just Maul in general.
So I would have had Maul at least, because obviously Maul's thing is after he obviously loses and he comes back from losing at Phantom Menace, he gets into the whole little crime thing, right? And then we find out that he pops up in the Solo movie, whatever. I would just love for Maul to, because I think that in all these things they lose like the thing that made him the most special, which is that he's a warrior, right? Maul is a warrior, like he's a fighter. So my thing I would just love to have seen Maul take down some of Sidious's, some of his underlings, right? Like Grievous, you know what I mean? Like I don't think there's any reason why Maul couldn't have been the one to defeat Grievous. You know what I mean? Like give him some W's, man. Like he got Qui-Gon, but he needs some more W's. My perfect send off for Maul would have been for him to take down some of Palpatine's, little right hands, probably Grievous. I mean, this is a hot take. Even Dooku, I would have had Maul get a one-on-one fight with Dooku. You know what I'm saying? And go down from a place of I'm just gonna I'm just gonna, Palpatine is, I would have had Maul try to kind of what he's doing here, but a bigger presence of trying to stop this from his side. You know what I mean? Like not being a good guy, not aligning with the Jedi, but knowing what was about to take place and making the effort to stop it.
Right.
For his own reasons, though. You know what I mean? And if he died doing that, like, I would have been fine with that. But like the whole like running away and like being a underground crime boss is just like so diminishing to his to what his character started off to being, what we first saw him as.
So you wouldn't take it so far as to see him turn to the light. You wouldn't want to see that.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but it would have to be the right, I guess, character. And Ahsoka is the perfect character for that. You know what I mean? Right. So as long I wouldn't want it to be Obi-Wan, I wouldn't want it to be anybody like that. But Ahsoka is a good character for that. Or I would be down for them to kind of have the secret between them that they know what is about to happen and they just can't communicate it to, you know what I'm saying, to the people that they need to communicate it to, because Order 66 happens and maybe it splits them up. But I want Maul to get a W, like a big one. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's in the form of making some type of deal with Ahsoka. You know what I mean? Like something, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I just get worried that that's not going to happen, bro. Like I just think that at this point he's being used as the guy who always falls short, which is sort of trash. You know what I'm saying?
And then and I already see that happening. I mean, I hated him in Rebels. I hated the way they did him in Rebels. And some people liked it, and I'm just like, I didn't like it at all, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? But
that's the reason why I texted you the way that I did. Because I was curious to see how you would feel about that, because while it was a fantastic episode, this episode cemented what I heard all those years ago with what Freddie Prinze Jr. was saying. Like, damn, I think he was right, bro. I think that Maul is the foil. Always
like he hasn't got, and it's like even when he does get a W, it's just like a couple seasons ago when he fights Pre Vizsla, gets a big W, kills him, takes over Mandalore. But literally right after that is the Palpatine one, where Palpatine comes and kills his brother and fights him.
Everything up.
Yeah, man. And it's like, it's just constantly, and if that, and like you said, obviously that's what it is. That's what they're doing. But as a fan of the character, it's super frustrating.
All right. Yeah, that's super whack, man. Well, yeah, man. Like I said, I figured that would be, and I feel it too, bro. Like Maul is one of my favorite characters as well, and I from a dramatic standpoint, I get what I think it makes sense how they arrived here. Like it's not like weird that they took it this route, but would have been cool to see him go out. And I don't know if I would ever want him to turn to the light, because that would sort of be a little bit of a cop out. But to see him be his, and I like the fact that he's being his own person. But like I said, I would love to see him get a W. And even if he went out, bro, even if he had like one more shot at Obi-Wan and they just had like a dog ass fight, and
because in Rebels he has an encounter with Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan just kind of beats him in like 2 seconds and kills him.
Yeah, that was kind of whack. I mean, it was cool to see that like
the little callback to the spot with the
right. I just wanted to see that to be. So again, I understood stylistically why they did it that way, because it was just to go to show like, damn, like how far has Maul fallen at this point? But it's like, bro, like why did y'all do him like that? It would have been dope to give them one last good scrap and come down to like the wire, and if he loses type shit. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, and I mean, is that type of character relatable? Absolutely. I mean, how many of us in life, you know what I mean? We fall short all the time, right? On a victory, we always get close and we fall short. But there's got to be some type of light at the end of the tunnel, even if he is a villain, right? You know what I mean? Like he beat Qui-Gon, but he lost to Obi-Wan. You know, he comes back, he he tries to fight Obi-Wan, and when he first comes back adventurous, but he can't ever, you know what I mean? They lose. Remember, he fights Obi-Wan with Savage, and they lose, and that's when his legs get messed up, and they almost die in that spaceship. Remember, and they're freezing to death, and that's when Pre Vizsla and the Death Watch finds him. And then he starts working with them, and then he finally beats, and then he takes over, and he finally kills Pre Vizsla. But then Darth Sidious comes, you know what I mean? And then Sidious comes, and then he kind of festers in the underworld doing the crime thing, and then he takes over Mandalore, and now he knows everything. He knows the plan. He knows he's the only person in the entire galaxy, bro, that's not on Sidious's side that knows exactly what's about to happen, and he still can't win. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, that's just whack.
Trash.
But hopefully we get to see what happens, man.
But with that said, man, we're going to keep it with the Star Wars vibe for our top 5 today. We've done our top 5 favorite Star Wars movies, which might be different because we had a new movie come out. I don't know. We did our top 5 favorite Star Wars characters before, which that could be different. A lot of things have happened since we did that. But this time, we're going with our top 5 favorite lightsaber fights of all time. All
right. Okay.
Son, what are your top 5 favorite lightsaber fights ever?
All right. So we're going to start. I don't have a whole lot of honorable mentions. Oh, no, I do have one. I do have one honorable mention. I'm going to go with my honorable mention is going to be, just because of the cinematic and just the moment, was Kylo Ren versus holographic Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
I thought that moment was really dope, bro. A lot of people thought that shit was whack. I thought that shit was fire.
Yeah, man. I mean, y'all wanted Messiah Luke.
And there he was, yo. You got him,
you got it, and y'all were mad about
it, right? And here's a hot take to start off this conversation. All of the lightsaber fights. That's not true. Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader 2.
Return of the Jedi
was good. Every other lightsaber fight, and it wasn't but like one or two other ones, was fucking trash. And the original series.
And even in the Return of the Jedi, which I love Return of the Jedi, it's actually my favorite original Star Wars movie. Even though that fight was good, Luke still got a little crazy at the end.
He did. He just, right. And Luke turned to the fucking dark side. Man. Y'all original series boys, man. Like, it's just so inconsistent, dog. This nigga Luke falls to the dark side in like 30 seconds. Just like, I'm getting a little mad. That means I'm going to the dark side. Like, bro, that's not how the Force works. Didn't Han tell y'all that's not how the Force works, bro? I mean, give him a break. So basically what you're saying is, if you stub your toe, you're gonna fucking turn into a Sith Lord. That's gonna be the title of this episode. Stub your toe, turn into a Sith Lord.
Turn into a Sith Lord.
Like, come on, whatever. Hey, well, actually, he was dealing with the years of oppression and dealing with the memories of his father.
And y'all be complaining about Rey so much. This Luke trained to be a Jedi for like 10 minutes.
Bruh. Look, man. Even if you want to, dog, Luke went to fucking Dagobah for like 72 hours, bro, and came back enough to hold his own against Darth Vader. You know who Darth Vader is? That nigga went to train up and did a couple cartwheels with Yoda for.
Did a couple handstands.
Right, did a couple handstand push-ups. And I'll even give you, say we don't know exactly how much time. Say I'll give you 2 weeks. He was there for 2 weeks. And he gonna come back and he scrapped with fucking Darth Vader. I don't care. I mean, it wasn't really that close, but like, that's Darth Vader, dog. The fact that he wasn't instantly killed means that he's a fucking MacGuffin off top. It means that that's a cheat code.
Yeah.
So y'all remember the same Darth Vader that went in terror and fucking horror movie an entire squadron?
A rated R horror film at the end of Rogue One.
Fuck out of here. Anyways,
hey man.
So yeah. Getting into the top 5. My number 5 is a new one from Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. I'm going Kylo v. Rey 2 on the Death Star. On the Death Star, on the sunken Death Star.
I love that.
Amazing fight, bro.
It is,
and shout out to Kylo Ren, like kind of dominating that fight. Like he straight up like had Rey's number in that fight. You know what I'm saying?
He was a force. I always talk about that fight. I always talk about that part where Rey does the backflip and he just walks through the wave like a
just stomps through that shit
like a killer.
Hey, bro. Man, love Kylo Ren. Love Adam Driver's depiction of Kylo Ren.
Yes, absolutely.
Number 4, we're going back to the prequel trilogy. We're going to go with Yoda v. Count Dooku. That was the first time
Yoda fight
that you got to see Yoda, and it was like, holy shit. Yoda is a buzzsaw.
Bro, and how about, and I mean, Clone Wars, not one of my favorite movies, but just being able to see that. I remember when that happened when I was a kid in the movie theater, and everybody was just like losing their It's up there with one of the like best in theater fan reactions ever that I've ever seen.
Yeah. And he pulled out the green pill on his ass and said, "All right."
And I remember when that happened. I still collect, but I used to. I had all the Star Wars guys and the toys, and I remember the Yoda one was like impossible to find, like because after that he had just became like, you know what I mean. Everybody wanted the Yoda now because he fought, and I could not find that thing ever. And I finally found it like 3 years later.
So here's an interesting thought experiment just to kind of go, and it's going to I'm going to end up proving how dope Mace Windu is once I get to the end of this. So a lot of people might have thought like, hey, it's interesting that Yoda, one of maybe the most powerful Jedi of all time, shouldn't he have wiped the floor with Count Dooku? Nah, because they weren't doing a force battle. They were doing a lightsaber duel. And when it comes to dueling the lightsaber, it ain't too many niggas that's more duely than Count Dooku. That nigga was one of the GOATs when it came to dueling his saber. Now, said only to be bested by Mace Windu in terms of lightsaber dueling. Now, the way that they say that, it makes it seem like maybe Mace Windu was only a little bit better. Check this out. You saw in episode 3, right? The beginning of episode 3, Anakin Skywalker kind of handed Count Dooku an L easily.
He handed him an L. Yeah.
Kind of easily, right? And then you see Mace Windu fair and square beat the Darth Lord of the Sith, Darth Palpatine, Chief Palpatine Sidious.
Dark Lord of the Sith.
Right. Beat him fair and square. So if you use the transitive property, that gap between Dooku and Mace Windu is it's more like
it's a little bigger than
it's more like this here. It's more like he's only. I mean, he might be the second best nigga to Mace Windu, but Mace Windu is by far and away the best out of all these niggas, and it's not even close. So shout out one time for Mace Windu as one of the great, maybe second or third most powerful Jedi of all time. I mean, you got Luke, you got extended or what do they call it? Extended universe Luke is by far the most powerful.
Grandmaster Luke.
I mean, you can't really fuck with him. You got Yoda. And then you kind of got. I mean, if you want to flip a coin between, Mace Windu and Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Mace Windu probably more better, but Obi-Wan just has that track record, bro.
Yeah, Obi-Wan got a sterling track record. That nigga.
Obi-Wan got rings.
He does. Obi-Wan is Tim Duncan out here. That nigga solid as hell and got a bunch of championship rings.
Obi-Wan's got rings.
Yeah.
He's a champion, man. Obi-Wan is a champion. I'm loving your list so far.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Obi-Wan, number 3, we're gonna go Obi-Wan v. Darth Maul.
Okay.
Really, the whole fight, right? Yeah. From Qui-Gon to Maul, from Qui-Gon Maul to then Obi-Wan. Well, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Maul, and then Qui-Gon versus Maul, and then Obi-Wan versus Maul. Isn't that how it went?
Yeah, it went. Yeah, it was Maul versus both of them, then Maul versus Qui-Gon, then Maul versus Obi-Wan.
Right.
And
that
when it was
fire.
When it was Maul and Obi-Wan, it was nasty.
It was, no doubt.
When they had that one little sequence where he cut his saber in half, and then it was the
that shit was fire. Yes, hell yeah. That shit was fire. All right,
amazing.
Number 2. Oh, this was one of my favorite too, dog. This almost made number 1. Sneaky pick. How about Kylo Ren versus the Knights of Ren?
Knights of Ren. Oh,
and Rise of the Skywalker. Yeah. Ooh.
And then he does the Han Solo.
Okay. You niggas asked for it, and he just started going to war. Man, he's so much upside, bro. I would have loved to see what a full power light side Ben Solo look like. I mean, you're talking. I don't know if you're ever going to get. I don't know if you're ever going to get Grandmaster Luke status, but you're talking about a nigga who maybe could have been on par with like Anakin Skywalker before he became Darth Vader.
Bro, he was like, and my thing was, how dope was it to see him go from just instantly adapting from like a pure power style to like a finesse style with the light side of the Force lightsaber. You know what I mean? Like he just instantly, it was crazy.
Fucking, I mean, y'all need to stop hating on Kylo Ren, dog. Kylo Ren is a worthy character. Worthy character. All right, and then number 1, hey, dog. A lot of people talked a lot of shit. A lot of people thought that it was too flashy. A lot of people thought they was just swinging their sabers for no reason. Hey, man, Obi-Wan versus Anakin, Star Wars Episode 3. Man, everybody wants to point to that one scene where they were just kind of like, swinging their swords, bro. It
was still dope though. It was dope. Y'all the same people that get mad when wrestlers do athletic flippy stuff, and y'all get mad. It's not wrestling.
It was dope, but also like if you've ever done any martial arts and you see after an exchange of
you gotta reset,
and then he gets back into his stance. You know what I'm saying? That's all that was, man.
That's all
flexing.
It was.
Them niggas was trying to see, hey, your lightsaber game good as mine or nah, nigga? You know what I'm saying? You know how to do this shit? You know how to do what I'm doing or nah? Let me see, can you do this right here?
and
go ahead, you do it now, nigga. Okay.
It's a rhythm thing, man. You gotta reset, you gotta get back in rhythm. Come on, y'all. Don't be a hater. Do some research, man.
Boom. There it is. So that's my top 5.
I like it.
We got Kylo Ren versus Rey 2. We've got Yoda versus Count Dooku, Obi-Wan versus Maul, Kylo Ren versus the Knights of Ren, Ben Solo versus the Knights of Ren, and Obi-Wan versus Anakin at number 1.
Nice. That's a nice list. All right, man, let's go. I'm going to get into mine. Coming in at number 5, just like you, bro, I got, you're stuck right now. Oh, no, you're not. You were actually just looking down. I thought you were stuck. Yo, all right, so coming in at number 5, just like you, man, I got Rey versus Kylo Ren on the 2 on the Death Star. Love it, love it, love it. A lot of people complained. I'll tell you, I like the fact that there was no music playing. It was different. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know that was a complaint.
Yeah, I saw some people were mad about that. I thought it was dope. It was different. It hadn't been done really before. And like I said, man, I'm a huge fan of that moment when Rey does the flip over the waterfall and Kylo Ren just walks through it, man, like a beast. You know what I mean? I really do, man. I love that fight. That fight is really dope to me. And I love how, like you said, he kind of dominated a little bit. And then at the end, he just kind of overpowers her, right, with those menacing strikes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number, and that is my number 5. My number 3, man, or my number 4. Hey man, it's fresh in my mind. It just happened. Let's go. I'm going Darth Maul versus Ahsoka from Clone Wars, coming in at number 4. That fight was awesome. It had everything. It was dramatic. It was high stakes. You know what I mean? Getting to see Ray Park come back and do the mocap for Maul. You could see it. You could see it in his movements and the way he was using the saber. And Ahsoka, she's an unbelievably good fighter, man, with the lightsabers. I love her style. She uses 2 at one time. And if you pay attention, you know, one of them is it's like a dagger.
Yeah.
I mean, like one of them is shorter than the other one. And she did some really dope moves in that fight too. So that fight is fresh in my mind. It's definitely top 5 for me. I loved it. Maul was my favorite character. So that was really dope, man. Coming in at number 3, man, I gotta give a shout out to this fight too, man. I gotta go Yoda versus Count Dooku from Clone Wars.
Let's go.
From Attack of the Clones, rather. It was, I mean, look, man, what you want me to say, bro? First time ever seeing Yoda fight on screen. You know what I mean? And it was amazing. It was life-changing for a lot of us younger. You know what I mean? For us, I mean, obviously for the older fans, but for us kids at the time, ever since we saw Yoda, we wanted to see him fight. It was the first thing we wanted to see. I want to see that little green guy fight. You know what I mean? So him fighting and him just being an absolute buzzsaw, and probably the influence for Levi from Attack on Titan. You know what I mean? It was dope. That's my number 3. My number 2, man, is look, man. Not just the fight, but like everything leading up to it. One of my favorite moments in Star Wars history is when that ship door opens and Obi-Wan is just standing there in the doorway, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You brought him here to kill me. Shut up, man.
I will do what I must.
You will try. That fight is just amazing. So I'm going Obi-Wan versus.
Also, Anakin, nigga, you just murdered a bunch of children. Yes,
bro, you just murdered children, dog.
I've come to kill you.
I actually did come to kill you, by the way.
Are you gonna stop murdering kids? No. Okay, cool. Then I guess we're about to fight.
I have to kill you then. So yeah, that's my number 2, man. My number 1, I mean, it's obvious. Everybody knows my number 1 is Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn from Phantom Menace. From the time that door opens and we get the Duel of Fates song,
yeah,
come on, man, let's go, man. It was just so good. Just from the action, it was by far the best lightsaber fight we had ever seen at the time, and just Ray Park, man, unbelievable, bro. Ray Park was so good in that fight. Just the wushu, you can see the wushu in it, man, and the Darth Maul's, the way that he uses his saber, and I love that fight, man. Everything, the moment where they get separated by the force field door, and Qui-Gon takes a moment to meditate, but Darth Maul just walks back and forth like a dog.
Animal, fucking wolf ready to attack.
Like an animal. You know what I mean? And I mean, like that, like we've been, like the theme of this episode, he wins, right? He gets cocky and he loses in the end. He beats both of them. And I mean, let's talk about the skill, right? To do a force push on somebody like that, you have to like time using their energy against them at like the right moment. It's not like it looks easy, right? But the science to it is difficult. So Maul is super skilled fighter, man. So that's my number one. So that's my top five, man. Number five, Rey versus Kylo. Number four, Maul versus Ahsoka. Number three, Yoda versus Count Dooku. Number two, Obi-Wan versus Anakin. And number one, Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn. My absolute favorite. Couple other fights, just real quick to give a shout out to. I loved Ben versus Knights of Ren, and I also really liked Kylo and Rey versus the Praetorian Guards from.
Wait a minute, dog.
Jedi.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Stop. I am making an official amendment.
Okay. Making an amendment.
All right, look, man. Yoda Count Dooku loved it, but I'm gonna have to switch you out. I'm gonna have to switch you out, bro. Rey and Kylo versus the Praetorian Guard is my number four officially. I cannot believe I left that shit out, bro.
Word. All right,
that was one of the best moments in all of Star Wars, in my opinion.
That was amazing.
So fucking dope, dog. Let's go.
I love that fight. And there's like a moment before earlier in the film where Kylo kind of gets mouthy with Snoke, and you see the guards kind of step out like they're going, and then they go back. And then when you see that, you're like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
Scrap.
Yeah, you know, you know what I mean. So that fight, I love that fight. That fight was super dope. And I mean, you know, Luke versus Vader from Return of the Jedi, I love it. It's up there too. So that's good, man. That's our top five favorite lightsaber fights. Comment on our Instagram page, man. Let us know what your top five are, guys. Hero, man, you got anything before we get out of here? You got anything you want to put me on? You told me about devs earlier, so I'm probably gonna check that out.
Yeah, bro.
That was the thing.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Fuck, man, I almost want to forget that I saw devs to watch it again, to have that experience again. That shit was incredible.
We just talked about how finishing a show is the most bittersweet thing ever, because you're done watching it, but at what cost? What do you do with your life after the show is over?
As far as put you on, I've been in super quarantine mode, and I don't know if there's any new shit. I think I've finished the internet. You know what I'm saying? I've completed the entire internet, so I don't know if there's anything that stands out right now.
No, I feel you. Completed the internet. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna make a slight amendment to my list. All I'm gonna do is slide Maul versus Ahsoka up to number 3 and drop down Count Dooku and Yoda to number 4. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. Fair enough.
So man, that's it. Top 5 favorite lightsaber fights. There's a lot of good ones out there. Y'all make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at the SwordCast pod and comment, man. Let us know. We post our top 5s in there all the time. Let us know what y'all think. We got the video now for you guys on the YouTube channel. It's still streaming everywhere. Shout out to everybody that's still listening on Spotify, whatever you listen to it on. And thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank you for listening.
Hey, yo.
Peace.
Check it.
Right, I just lit a fire sign on y'all ass and blew up the entire street.
My word is my sword, Hokage and Batosai, pulling the blades out of the forge, yo. Prior to my knowledge of the Force, was thinking Jedi, but through obtaining holocrons from both sides, I'm under gray skies. Everything that glitter ain't kyber crystal, my mind to lift you. In this time we shine together, disarm your pistol, yo. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.